Luke chapter 23. While the wood is green. Rain stitched the windows the way it always did this late in the term. Soft and steady, no drama left in it. Ellis's living room held 6 people and the smell of coffee that had sat a little too long. Open notebooks, open Greek, an open English Bible with a ribbon that had frayed at the edge from being pulled too often. Ellis set his own cup down and did not stand. "Glad a few of you made it Sunday," he said, almost offhand. "I saw you in the back row, Jude. And Anya, your mother found me after and said you took notes like you were grading me." Anya's mouth tilted. "I was, kindly." "Kindly is allowed," Ellis said. "Cruelty is for Greek paradigms." A low laugh went around the room and settled. Mara had her laptop open, Greek text already waiting. She tapped once on the trackpad without looking up. "I was going to say, whatever you did with the participle chains last week in the practical lab finally stuck." Reading Luke stopped feeling like translating a fence. "That's the lab talking to the page," Ellis said. "Good. Keep letting them argue with each other." Wren closed her phone face down. "I told Professor Hale you steal half her syllabus when we sit here. She said if you steal the right half, she won't press charges." "I only borrow," Ellis said, "and I put it back better behaved." Seth stretched his legs out under the coffee table, careful of someone's bag. "Still Luke, same man who won't write like the rest of the New Testament." "That's why we're here," Ellis said. "Street Greek is one music, Luke is another. When you hear the difference, you're not just surviving a quiz, you're hearing a voice. Tonight is chapter 23. We already walked the trials last week. Pilate, Herod, Barabbas. We start on the road and we don't rush the wood." He glanced at Jude. "Read from Simon of Cyrene if you would. Through the word to the daughters." Jude read without theater. The compelled man from Cyrene carrying the cross behind Jesus. The crowd. The women mourning. Jesus turning to them. "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." And the proverb that landed like a stone in still water. "For if they do these things when the wood is green, what will happen when it is dry?" Jude left his finger under the line. "I've heard people moralize that until it means anything. I don't want that. I want what it meant in his mouth." No one filled the quiet with a clever chart. Wren spoke first, careful. "Green wood is living, sap in it, hard to burn. Dry wood is ready for fire. If this is how they treat the living tree, him, still present, still innocent, then the dry days will not be gentler." "Judgment," Anya said. "On the city. On the people who thought they were managing the crisis." Ellis nodded once. "Many hear 70 AD in it. I'm not going to stop you from hearing that. Just don't sand off the edge that still cuts. If cruelty finds the green, it will not spare the dry. He is warning them while warning is still mercy." Seth frowned at the page. "And he says it while he is the one walking under the wood. That messes with me. He is the green, and he is already carrying what the dry will cost." "Keep that," Ellis said. "Don't resolve it into a slogan." They moved on. Mara took the place called the Skull, the 2 criminals, the lots for garments, the scoffing of rulers and soldiers, the title fixed above him. When she finished, she did not close the laptop. "I keep hearing people say Jesus only spoke Aramaic. Like that settles every conversation in the Gospels." "It settles less than they think," Ellis said. "Everyday speech at home. Aramaic mostly. Synagogue reading, Hebrew. Luke 4, he stands to read Isaiah, that was the Hebrew scroll. And Pilate?" He let the question hang. Jude answered, slow. "Greek, administration, trade. The Eastern Empire ran on it. There's no interpreter in the story. Pilate almost certainly isn't working in Aramaic. The natural conclusion is that Jesus speaks Greek well enough for a trial without a middleman. Luke writes as if they do. Latin for Rome's paper and the army," Anya added. "Not for a prefect working through charges with the Galilean." Mara turned the screen so the others could see a note she had typed. "And the board on the cross. John says the charge was written so the city could read it. Hebrew, Latin, Greek. Some copies of Luke nod at the same 3. Public charge, public languages. Not a private dialect for insiders." Ellis's eyes warmed a fraction. "So when someone at coffee hour reduces him to one language for all occasions, you can be gentle and still be accurate. He lived in a thick air of tongues." Tonight the charge over his head is written so a Jew, a Roman, and a Greek speaker in the crowd can each read the same mockery, King. Seth rubbed the back of his neck. That makes the title less like a prop and more like a verdict the whole street is forced to see. Yes, Ellis said. Now the exchange that will not leave you alone if you let it. Ren, the two criminals, all the way through paradise. Ren read, one criminal railing, the other rebuking, confessing their sentence, declaring Jesus had done nothing wrong, the request, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom, and the answer that rearranged the air in the room even before anyone spoke about it. Truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Ren set the Bible down as if it had weight. In English, I can move a comma and change the world. I say to you, today you will be, or, I say to you today, you will be. It feels almost dishonest how easy that is. Mara already had the Greek line highlighted. She did not perform it. She only said, there are no commas in the manuscripts. None. English makes the furniture easy to rearrange. Greek is less polite. Ellis stood then, only long enough to write on the whiteboard leaning against the bookcase, letters careful, the way he wrote sermon texts when he did not want the congregation to think the page was casual. Hamin si lego simeron metemuesi en tu paradiso. He sat again. Amen, I say to you, that unit is a tool Jesus uses over and over. It introduces what comes next. When Cimarron follows it, the language wants the adverb to go forward with you will be, not leap backward and decorate the speaking. You can force the other reading. People have. The Greek resists. That resistance is part of the gift. Jude stared at the board. So the traditional reading isn't just tradition. It's the path of least resistance in the grammar itself. Exactly, Ellis said. The text has grain. You can plane against it if you insist. You will feel the splinters. Anya's voice thinned. And the force of it, if today belongs to the promise, is that a dying man asks to be remembered in a future kingdom and is answered with nearness that does not wait for a schedule he can manage. No one hurried to turn that into a system. Seth said, almost reluctantly. I grew up around people who needed the other comma. They weren't villains. They were protecting a doctrine about the dead. I get the fear. I don't think Luke wrote this line to make us feel safe about our charts. He wrote a criminal hearing today. Ellis did not congratulate him. He only said, hold the fear and the text in the same hand. Don't drop either to win an argument at lunch. They let the rain do a little of the talking. Ellis turned a page in his own Bible. Death and burial. Anya, if you're willing. Darkness, the curtain, the loud voice, the centurion, Joseph, the women. Anya read, noon to 3, light failing, the temple curtain torn. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. The last breath, the centurions, certainly this man was innocent, the crowds beating their breasts, acquaintances and the Galilean women watching from a distance, Joseph of Arimathea asking for the body, linen, a rock-hewn tomb never used, the women seeing how he was laid, preparing spices, resting on the Sabbath according to the commandment. When she stopped, the room felt smaller and cleaner at once. Ren said, Luke keeps stacking innocents. Pilate, Herod, the criminal, the centurion. He will not let us call this a tragic accident of politics alone. And he will not let us call it only politics, Mara said. Forgive them. Today paradise. Into your hands. The king keeps speaking like a king while the wood is still green in his hands. Jude closed his notebook without clicking the pen. I came in wanting the idiom explained and the comma settled. I still want those. I also keep hearing green wood as more than a proverb. While there is still sap, while mercy is still speaking, weep for the right things. Don't waste the green on performances of grief that never turn. Ellis looked at the board, then at them, then at the rain. I get 1 hour with you on Sunday if you come, he said plain. I get this room because you keep showing up when the term is tired. I'm not going to summarize the cross for you. I am going to ask you to leave the grain alone when you feel tempted to sand it smooth for someone else's comfort. Mara saved her file. The Greek line stayed bright on the screen a moment longer. Next week we don't rush the empty tomb, Ellis said. Same house, same Luke. Bring whatever still splinters. No one made a speech about readiness. Coats found shoulders. Cups found the sink. Outside, the street north of the city was only wet asphalt and porch lights, And inside the whiteboard still held a sentence without commas, waiting for the next set of hands willing to feel where the language pushed back.